And just a sense of the room, the light, the objects, the colors, the feeling of the room, how you feel in the room. And then dropping into your body, maybe eyes closed. And in a sense, the same, right? As if moving through your own, the home of your body. Same feelings, right? Or same questioning, color, temperature, maybe sensations or movement, right? So we can't see it so much, but we can feel it, we can see it with our mind's eye. We can tune into it in a different way. But this sense of really feeling, even just feeling the shape of your body as it sits on whatever surface you're on, the imprint of whatever you're sitting on, how the clothes feel against your skin. How your body moves with your breath. Right? Even noticing movement. Maybe there's a downward movement or an inward movement or an up and out movement. The sense of exchange between you and your environment. Is there an invitation in or an expansion out, or a little bit of both? If we think of air as having movement, like the circulation, the currents, our emotions have currents, our thoughts have currents, and they're all different qualities of current, of movement. Maybe just the awareness of it. Right, much easier to feel the current of our breath. More subtle, maybe cerebral spinal fluid. Or thought. And exhaling fully. Inhaling slowly and fully, diffusely. And exhale slowly, clearly, again diffusely, but also completely. Again, inhaling through the nose. Again, you can count if that helps. Good. Let's inhale through the nose on the next one. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. So opening the mouth sometimes just pulls the awareness into different parts of the body. Inhaling again. Exhale through the mouth. And again, just continuing in that rhythm. Noticing head, mouth, throat, back, You can even move to make room for the breath. Right, like cleaning the corners of your body with the breath, inhale and the exhale. And then inhaling through the mouth. Exhaling through the mouth. Again, each breath creating a little more clarity or cohesiveness, like everything following the current, your body, your awareness, that relationship from your environment into your body and your body out into the environment. And then let's add a little sound. So let's do the sound ma. Well, actually, let's do ha. Different series of sounds. Ha. Inhale. Ha. Let's do two sounds. Ha and vu. H-A-V-U. Two sounds, one breath. Inhale. Ha. Vu. Next breath, three sounds. Ha, vu, ha. Inhaling. Ha, vu, ha. Ha, vu, ha, vu. Ha, vu, ha, vu. Next breath, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha. Ha, vu, ha, vu, ha. Next breath, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha, vu. Vu, a little lift in the sound. Inhale. Ha, vu, ha, vu, ha, vu. Last breath, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha. Inhale. Ha, vu, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha. Two more like that. Ha, vu, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha. Ha, vu, ha, vu, ha, vu, ha. Okay, so actually let's come up to stand. Start standing for a moment. I'm gonna grab a block. And we've done this before, it's just been a while. So I'm gonna take my block. right? And I'm just gonna, like I'm serving. I'm gonna take the block out. So I'm externally rotating that arm. I'm feeling that nice opening across the front shoulder and chest. And then I'm gonna swing that block towards my waist and internally rotate the arm. So I'm externally rotating and then the opposite. Right, so as I swing around, the shoulder blade then gets wide, the elbow gets wide as I take the block under and back. Externally rotate. Internally rotate. Moving quite a bit of stuff. Right, shoulder. Even play with the opposite arm. And finding some movement. Good. Even take the block a little higher. Good, one more. Okay, other side. Again, that external rotation, the arm comes back, almost behind. And then that arm, same thing, but the shoulder blade goes wide, the elbow goes wide. And swing open. And swing in. And swing out. And swing in. Notice what the other arm is doing. Notice what the breath is doing. Notice what the hips are doing. The jaw. The throat. Maybe the arm comes up and back. And up and back. One more up and back. I lied. Let's do last one. Oh. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. So, same, that external rotation. Swing it in. And then I'm going to keep swinging it in and around. I'm cleaning something on the ceiling. And then come back.
Whoa.
And then let's go the opposite direction. Going up and back, reaching as if trying to get the cobwebs off the ceiling. And then forward. Slide that block in towards the body. And up. You drop your block, you drop your block. One more, right? So I'm going up and back. And then I'm going to come forward and swing down and low and spin the block in and around and up. Again, taking the arm up and around on the ceiling. And then the opposite direction. Starting up, swinging across, around.
Oh.
Bending, pulling the block in and under the arm. And up. Okay. Other side. This side is much more challenging for me, so. Find your rhythm. Going in, right? So actually, let's start up, right? So we get that nice opening across the front chest. And you'll feel the shoulder blade pulls in towards the spine. And then as we bring the block in, bend the arm, internally rotate, shoulder blade goes wide. And then I'm going up, whoop. This is where I lose my block, and across, and forward, and down. This is when I need sticky tape. Up, and across. Have to help with my fingers because my wrist doesn't do that rotation. And then come up. Yes. Okay, one more. All right, we'll swing in and around and across. And then in. Just got to improvise. You just got to do. And then go this way. And across, this is where my wrist comes in. If I go very slowly. Okay. All right, we did it. Okay, so simple, simple. Simple, simple. I'm just gonna play with just dropping my head forward, letting the breastbone come back. So the shoulder blades again spread wide. And then taking the head up, looking up, taking the spine and rib cage forward, looking up. So the upper arms then draw back slightly. Let's actually add more arm movement. So internally rotate the arms, back of the hands towards each other as you let the head drop forward. And then externally rotate, take the arms open as the head comes up. Internally rotate and externally rotate, feeling the breath. Move with the movement. By pressing the breath out as you flex. Good. And then let's take the arms up. So inhaling. And then the arms down and back and up. Exhaling. Arms forward and up. Lift the breastbone, lift the face. Inhale. Arms swing down. Rounding the upper spine, especially. Arms go back and up. Exhale. A few more times, just playing with the movement and the breath. One more. Good. Okay. All right, let's grab our blocks again. So you can set your blocks up so they're either at the lowest height. And my camera's all fuzzy. It could be at the lowest height and it could be at middle height. And then I'm just gonna lay I'm between my shoulder blades, and we're going to move the back so it doesn't have to be in the perfect spot, but the edge of the block. And again, if the block is lower, there might be less intense. Middle height, they're just different qualities. But I'm letting my ribs sink to the floor. So I'm letting that flexion happen. Top of the sacrum, right, the back of my pants sinking towards the floor. Belly sinking towards the floor. And then letting the upper body curl over the edge of the block. And then flex. And extend. If you need a blanket over the edge of the block, you can also do that. And extension. And flexion. Extension. Flexion. Good, and then let's change, either move higher, right? Moving higher up on the back. Or if you were already very high, moving lower. So I'm more towards the top of my shoulder blade, closer to the base of the neck. Again, that flexion and extension. More mobility in the upper spine than the lower. Good, one more. Good, and then I'm gonna take myself lower, so I'm kind of mid shoulder blade. So I basically did kind of high, higher, and now mid shoulder blade. So again, feel what feels right for your body. Finding that flexion. And then letting your body explore the extension. You can even play with elbows opening as you go back and coming together as you round. Good, just a couple more. And last one. Okay, and then go ahead and lay back. Let your head rest back. Take your arms out to the side for a moment. Right now my arms are floating and they're about, well, they're a little higher than shoulder distance apart. You can take them lower if you want them on the ground. If that's too much tension, you can put something under your hand, blankets. Good. Okay, one last thing. So I'm going to take my, I'm going to lift my hips up and I'm going to take the base of my skull right on the top edge of the block. And then my hips can rest on the second block. So just move the second block and put it under my hips. So if the block under your spine is low, you may not need the block at all. But again, I'm just going to hang here. You can even have your hands on the floor, forearms and elbows on the floor. And I'm just going to very gently roll my head to the left. This can be quite intense, right? You want to be right at the base of the skull, the upper neck. And slowly back to center. And then slowly roll to the right. Or whatever side you started on, roll to the opposite. And moving slowly, feel the weight of your back, the weight of your head, the weight of your neck, and your breath, right? So the heaviness combined with the breath trying to soften the tissue might give you access to your neck. And then roll back to center. And roll to the other side. Nice and slow, heavy neck, heavy head, heavy back. And slowly center. And over to the other side. And slowly center. And then I'm just gonna walk my feet in so they're under my knees. I feel the weight of my hips easily supported by my legs. Just scooping the hips up. Good, and again, you can have your hands down and more internally rotated. You can have your arms out to the side, more externally rotated. And just playing with lowering the hips towards the floor. And then let's lift the hips up again, just a little. And lowering towards the floor. And again, if your blocks are turned up on their side, you may not bring your hips all the way to the floor. And again, one more lift. And lower. And then if you can,
hands to the floor, or, I mean, hips to the floor, or hips on your hands, or hips on blocks, or you slide a blanket under your hips. And then bringing hands behind the head, lifting the head up, tipping the face towards the pubis, and then bringing the hands to the floor and sitting up.
Perfect. So on hands and knees. And I'm just gonna keep my blocks up on the middle height so I can use my fingers. Just for the first few moments, and then I'm gonna lift knees off the floor. And then hips up towards the ceiling. It's coming into a little downward dog with the hands elevated. And then lifting the heels, lowering the heels, lifting and lowering. One more time, lift and lower. Okay, let's step right foot outside of that right block. And I'm gonna let the hips come down, down and forward. And just for a moment, let's bring that back knee down and really let the sitting bones sink down and forward and look up. Good. And then as I pull the hips back, I'm gonna let that right leg straighten. So back knees on the floor, front foot's on the floor, front leg straight. And then bend again. Or swing forward, bend the front knee, swing the hips forward, look up. And then again, straighten, letting the back round or lengthen. And then one more time, bend the front knee, send the sitting bones forward. Lifting the head, lifting the eyes, looking up. Good. And then let's curl the back toes under. Keep the hips moving forward. So we're gonna lunge. And then straightening that front leg again. And then one more time. Bending the front knee, let the hips come down, let the eyes lift. And straighten the leg. And again, one more time. Bend the front knee. Hips come down, chest moves forward and up, look up. And then let's step back, downward facing dog. Good, other side, left foot steps outside of the block. Let's bring the back knee down. First one. Again, letting the hips move down and forward, lifting the chest, looking up. And then maybe even looking over one shoulder. And then looking over the other shoulder. Good, let's straighten the front leg. Again, maybe lengthening forward, so it's a long round through the spine. And then bending the front knee, hips come down, looking up. And straighten, reaching out and over the front leg and bend the front knee and looking up. And then let's lift the back knee. Hips are still down, gaze is still up. And again, maybe here, we should have done this on the other side, looking over one shoulder and then the other shoulder. And then straightening the front leg, hips go up and back. And then bend that front knee. And straighten. And bend. Good, straighten, reaching long out over that front leg. And bend. And stepping back to downward dog. Good, both knees to the floor. Let's take one block lower. I'm gonna take the right block lower, and I'm just gonna step the foot now up on top of the block. Good. And then just for a moment, bring hands up onto that front knee. Good, maybe even pull the front foot and the back knee towards each other. And then maybe look up, maybe take the hands up. And down. Good, looking over one shoulder again. And looking over the other shoulder. Let's take the arms out, looking again away from the front knee towards the back. And then turning across the front knee, looking to the back. And turning away from the front knee. And turning across. Good. And then hands down inside that leg. So I'm going to take the back knee off the floor. And while we're here, left hand is on the block. You can either bring the right hand to that right knee, just a simple turn, or you can take the right arm up to the ceiling, eyes up. And then right hand to the floor inside of the block, or you can put that block under your hand. Turning the pelvis. Let's take that left arm up. Back heel is off the floor. One more. Left hand down, right arm up. And right hand down, left arm up. And center. Let's just shift right hand to the block. Step that right leg back. Downward dog. Good, knees to the floor. Other side. So left foot on the block. And make any adjustments you need to make, right? If your breath is stopping, if your jaw is gripping, slow down. Good, back toes can be turned under or top of the foot on the floor. Pulling foot and knee towards each other. Either hands on the front knee or taking the arms up, looking up. Good. And let's keep the arms up and turn. So I'm turning away from the front leg. And then turning towards it. And then turning away. Turning, maybe looking at the back foot. And then turning across. Good. One hand, right hand on the right block. Lift the back knee. Either left hand on the knee to turn the belly towards or left arm up to the ceiling. Good, and then either left hand on the block or left hand on the floor, back heel up, right arm up, look up. Right hand down and rotate. And left hand down and rotate. Good, and both hands down. You can even just step back to downward dog, reorganize your block. Good, both knees to the floor. So as I shift, I'm actually gonna let myself shift back a little bit and let my back round. And so as I shift forward, I'm gonna keep that rounded shape, pulling the base of the pelvis forward, feeling that back of pelvis engaged as I swing the sitting bones forward towards the hands and unfurling the spine up, head up. Again, rounding back. And slowly taking that rounding forward to support the extension. One more time, back and forward. Good. And then let's lower the blocks. And last time, again, coming from that rounding, coming forward, knees maybe come off the floor this time and just pause. And then swing the hips up and back. Downward dog. Okay, let's walk the feet to the hands, hands to the feet. Bend the knees, round up to stand. Okay, last two things. Chair. Okay, this is hard to just kind of throw in, but we'll do what we can. So I'm gonna take my blanket or sticky mat, your choice, over. So I have a yoga chair, right? So I can stick my legs through the back end of the chair. But you also, if you have a dining chair, you can sit, you can use it. I'll do it this way, right? So back of the chair, one side. You can use a bench, right? So sliding, depending on the length of your chair, the hips towards one end of the chair so you can lay similar to what we did in the beginning on the block, right? So I have my hips supported with the block or the chair, one edge of the chair, and my upper back supported with the other end of the chair. Again, you have to organize depending upon your chair length, your torso length. You can keep your fingers interlaced behind your head, or you can release your arms, let your head hang and reach your arms overhead towards the wall and floor in front of you. Good. You can even play with just a little bit of cat-cow in the pelvis, right? That little bit of posterior tilt, right? It may drop the waist and the ribs into the chair a little bit more, and then the opposite. Anteriorly rotate, sitting bones heavy, lower ribs lift, and flexion and extension. And somewhere you'll need a little bit of both, but finding what you need. You can even straighten your legs. Right, maybe press into your heels a little bit or walk your feet further away, then press into your heels, reach your arms away, feeling long. Long arc. Then just a couple more breaths here. Good, and then bending your knees. Good, bring your hands behind your head. Bring your head up, let your ribs drop. And just take a moment there, let your ribs drop. And then hands on your chair, elbows on your chair, hands on your chair, and push yourself up to sit. Yay! Okay, and then the last. I'm gonna sit now on the floor in front of my chair or bench. I'm just gonna lay down close to the feet of the chair and legs up on the chair. I have my blocks handy so that I can lift, right? Maybe put the feet on the front edge of the chair. Ooh, let's just do that for a moment. So laying on the floor, blocks off to the side, but close to the feet of the chair. Depending on your body. So my chair's on a sticky mat, so it's not gonna slide. You can even take just push the blanket out of the way for a moment. You can even hold the front feet of your chair. But I'm gonna step into my feet and press down into my arms and just slowly roll the spine up, right from the base. All right, so sitting bones again, tipping up into the backs of the legs. I'm up on my shoulders, my throat is soft. And I'm just gonna slowly roll down. We're gonna roll down and up and down and up, and then pause. One more time, pressing down into the chair, sending the knees, the thighs, the sitting bones, rolling the spine up. Throat soft, face soft. And slowly, slowly roll down. Good, one more time, right? That little release into an anterior tilt, rolling or scooping the base of the pelvis up, sitting bones up into the backs of the legs. Curling the spine up. This time pause just for a few breaths. Right, really stepping into that right foot. Maybe lifting the right sitting bone up a little higher. Stepping into that left foot, lift the left sitting bone up a little higher. And just keep noticing what can soften, especially in the throat and face, jaw, back of neck, base of skull. And then slowly, slowly, as you roll down, grab your blocks, bring your blocks under your pelvis. And your lower legs back on the chair. So I move my blanket, put the blanket back, and let the legs rest. Right, so the hips are slightly elevated, the legs are elevated. So it's a little bit of an incline. Just a gradual inversion. And just feeling your breath. Feeling the quality of your breath, the movement. And again, notice what can soften around the breath, what can soften in the head. Sometimes breathing through the mouth just helps you feel what that feels like to soften nasal passages, upper palate, back of throat, tongue. The ribs, how are they moving? Right, feeling the breath move in and out of the body, almost like a wave swelling, like forming and then releasing back into the ocean. Easy movement, graceful movement. Good. Maybe the breath starts to get more shallow or slow down. Maybe the breath becomes more subtle. Maintains some length. There's no right way, just noticing what's happening. Hands soft, feet soft, face soft, mouth soft. And notice what moves across your awareness, what moves through you. Maybe a place of distraction, or maybe a place of awareness, something rising to the surface that needs awareness. Maybe just an awareness of what is being felt, what is being processed, digested, assimilated. And in a sense, just allowing, softening, receiving, touching into the nourishment, any nourishment that you feel drawn towards. And again, noticing your qualities of nourishment. Letting that nourishment be clean and clear and pure. Always feeding your goodness. Always nourishing your heart. And slowly, slowly, wiggling fingers, toes, just a little bit of movement. Bending your knees. Just a little bit of tilt to scoop the hips up. Slide the blocks out and slowly, slowly roll the spine down. The spinal roll. And then roll into your side. And slowly come up. And just finding your breath, your body, your seat, your awareness, your attention, your presence with yourself. And connected to the ever moving feelings and the innate goodness. Let's finish with just ha and bu. Inhaling. Ha, bu. And let's do that again. Ah.